Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on those little English grammar slips,
Hmm.
the ones that kind of pop up in everyday speaking, even if you're pretty fluent.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
chatting, feeling confident, and then maybe you pause and think, wait, was that verb quite right?
Happens all the time, really. And our goal today in this deep dive, it's not just about spotting the errors.
Right.
It's more about understanding why they happen and, well, giving you some really practical tools to smooth them out.
Yeah. So your spoken English just feels, I don't know, more natural, more polished.
Exactly. More
Okay.
confident.
So yeah, we'll look at some usual suspects, those common mistakes.
Hmm.
We'll dig into why our brains sometimes take these little detours mid-sentence.
And then the practical part, strategies, techniques you can actually use
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah. Think of this as your, shortcut to feeling more accurate and confident when you speak.
So maybe we should start with a few examples just to see these common hiccups in action.
Good idea.
And maybe frame them not as like a test, but just examples we can all learn from.
Okay, sounds good. Let's jump in. Here's one I definitely hear quite a bit. She go to school every day.
Ah, yes.
She go. What's the little tweak there? What makes that grammatically, spot on?
Well, the correction is simply she goes to school every day.
Right.
It's that third person singular as, that ending on the verb in the present simple.
That specific one.
Yeah, it's a really frequent spot where people stumble a bit. It's funny because English verbs are pretty simple compared to some languages,
Sure.
but that's for he, she, it in the present simple, it just often gets, well, dropped.
It really does, like a little grammar gremlin that just vanishes when you're talking fast.
Exactly.
Okay, how about this one? I didn't went to the party. What's the issue there?
Ah, that's a classic. It's a double past tense situation.
Double passed.
Yeah, because you have did that auxiliary verb, it already signals the past tense.
Okay.
So the main verb, go, should stay in its base form.
I see.
So the correct way is, I didn't go to the party. It's almost like the brain wants to be extra sure it's the past
Right, right. Overdoing it a bit.
and adds the past marker twice. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, one more for this round. He have a big house.
Mm-hmm. Subject-verb agreement territory?
Yeah.
So it should be. He has a big house.
Sauce.
Yes. The verb to have, it changes form, right?
Yeah.
And for he, she, those third-person singular subjects in the present tense we use, has.
Got it. And you know what's interesting is individually these might seem like tiny errors,
Yeah, maybe not a huge deal in isolation.
but when they happen consistently in someone's speech,
Then they can, yeah, create this subtle feeling like maybe the speaker isn't quite as fluent or accurate as they could be.
it's those little details stacking up.
Exactly. They all contribute to that overall sense of clarity and, confidence, too.
Okay, so we've seen some examples. Now let's think about why. Why do these happen, especially when we're just talking?
Well, you touched on it earlier, right?
It's a P thing. Yeah, it's like our mouths are trying to keep pace with our thoughts. We're so focused on getting the idea out.
That the grammar kind of gets left behind sometimes.
Precisely. In that rapid flow of conversation, your brain power, your cognitive resources, they're mostly busy formulating the message, getting it out there.
Right.
So there's just less processing capacity left for those really careful real-time grammar checks. Conveying meaning quickly becomes the priority.
Yeah, that tracks. It's totally different from, say, writing an email where you can reread and edit.
Completely different. And another factor, especially for language learners, is the initial focus. Often, it's heavily on comprehension.
Understanding others.
Exactly, understanding what's being said to you, which means you might not be as actively analyzing the grammatical precision of your own speaking.
So you're busy absorbing, maybe not self-correcting as much in the moment.
You might understand someone perfectly fine if they say she go, for example.
Right.
So you don't necessarily flag that as an error you might also be making.
Interesting point.
And then there's just, well, the gap. The gap between knowing the grammar rules, maybe you learn them in a book or a class,
Knowing them intellectually.
and actually applying them automatically, effortlessly, in a real, unpredictable conversation. That translation can be tough.
Okay, so we get why these slips happen. Brain prioritizing speed, focus on listening, the gap between knowing and doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now, the really important part. What can we actually do?
Mm-hmm.
What are some concrete things to catch these mistakes and, fix them?
Well, one of the most powerful things, though, I admit, it can feel a bit awkward at first.
Oh, What is?
is recording yourself speaking.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that can feel a little weird.
It can, but just a short recording,
Yeah.
maybe explaining something or just talking about your day, when you listen back,
You hear things differently.
totally, you're much more objective. You might suddenly notice patterns like, oh, I always forget that, or wow, I mix up those past tenses a lot.
So it's like getting an outside perspective on your own speech.
Exactly. And the key is, like you said, not to be overly critical.
Right. It's not about judging yourself.
No, it's a tool for diagnosis, for spotting areas where you can improve gradually.
Okay, recording yourself. What else?
Another really effective technique is to consciously try to slow down,
Just speak slower.
even just slightly. That tiny bit of extra time can actually give your brain the micro moment it needs
To do what?
to run a quick internal grammar check before the words actually come out.
Ah, creating a little bit of mental buffer space.
Exactly that. Mental breathing room.
Makes sense.
And then there's targeted practice, really focusing in.
How so?
If you know, for example, that past simple, irregular verbs are tricky for you.
Yeah, like went, saw, ate.
Right. Dedicate some specific time to just practicing those. Say sentences aloud. I saw the movie. I ate dinner. They went home.
Like drilling them?
Kind of, yeah. Repetition helps build that muscle memory so the correct form starts to feel more automatic.
So like a mental rehearsal for specific grammar points. What about learning from others, from native speakers?
Oh, that's hugely valuable. There's a technique called shadowing.
Shadowing.
Yeah. You listen to native speakers, maybe podcasts, interviews, audiobooks, whatever.
Okay.
And you try to repeat exactly what they say almost simultaneously. But you're not just copying words.
What else?
You're paying close attention to how they use grammar, their sentence structures, the verb tenses, conjugations. It's a way to sort of absorb correct grammar more naturally.
Passively absorbing it through imitation. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got recording, slowing down, targeted practice, shadowing. Great strategies. Now let's get really practical. What are some specific exercises people listening can actually do, maybe daily?
Okay, let's talk exercises. One really simple one is what I call the daily correction challenge.
Ooh, sounds intense.
Huh, not really. You just pick one specific grammar mistake you often make.
Just one.
Just one to start. Maybe it's that third person is, or maybe it's using didn't go correctly.
Okay.
And then for that whole day, you make a really conscious effort in all your speaking to get that one thing right.
Ah, so it's hyper-focused.
Mm.
Laser focus on one improvement area per day.
Exactly. It stops it feeling overwhelming. You tackle one thing at a time.
I like that. What else?
Another thing you can do is have, well, mini conversations with yourself.
Like talking to yourself.
Yeah. Stand in front of a mirror, maybe, and just talk about everyday stuff. What you did yesterday, plans for tomorrow. Describe something you see.
Okay. And the point is,
As you speak, you actively listen to your own grammar. If you catch a mistake,
yeah.
you stop and you immediately say the sentence again, correctly, aloud.
Ah, okay. So it's instant correction in a safe space. Your own private practice zone.
Precisely. Low stakes, high focus.
Cool. Any others?
One more. The grammar swap.
Grammar swap.
Yeah. Take a simple sentence, let's say in the present tense, like, I drink coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Now, actively practice saying that same core idea in other tenses.
Like past and future.
Exactly. So you'd say, I drank coffee this morning, and I will drink coffee tomorrow morning.
Ah, so you're really focusing on how the verbs change.
Yes. It helps solidify your understanding of how those tense shifts work and sound, gets you comfortable with the variations.
Those are all really concrete, actionable things. Easy to start doing today, actually.
That's the idea. Practical application.
Now, as we kind of start to wrap this up, I think it's really important we talk about mindset here. Perspective.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Making mistakes. It's just part of it.
It has to be, right? Learning anything new.
Especially language. It's not a sign you're failing. It's actually proof you're trying, you're engaging, you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
The very fact that you're listening to this, thinking about these little grammar points, that's already a huge step. Awareness is key.
Right. It's definitely about progress, isn't it? Not suddenly achieving perfection overnight.
Never about perfection. And let's not forget the main goal of speaking English, or any language.
Which is,
Communication, being understood, conveying your ideas. Does good grammar help make that clearer? Absolutely. But the core goal is getting your message across.
couldn't agree more. So the advice is really focus on small steps, consistent effort.
Yes. Keep speaking. Listen to yourself actively. Notice those patterns. But don't beat yourself up.
And trying to enjoy the process.
If you can, see it as a journey of refinement, not a test you're constantly failing. Every little improvement counts.
Yeah, zoom out, see the bigger picture. It's a long game.
It really is. Embrace the imperfections, learn from them, and definitely celebrate the progress you make along the way.
So just to recap this deep dive,
Yeah.
we looked at some of those common spoken grammar errors,
Like the third person says, didn't go, he has.
explored why they happen, speed, focus, the knowing-doing gap.
Right.
And then we armed you with strategies, recording, slowing down, practice, shadowing,
And specific exercises like the daily challenge, mirror talk, and the grammar swap.
all aimed at helping you speak with, well, more clarity and definitely more confidence.
We really hope this is giving you some valuable insights and, more importantly, some practical steps you can take, starting, well, right now.
And hey, if you found this deep dive useful, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, maybe leave us a review.
Yeah, that really helps other people find the discussion.
And feel free to share it. Anyone you know working on their spoken English might find it helpful too.
Oh, and don't forget the show notes for this deep dive.
Right, what's in there?
We've put together a free grammar cheat sheet, kind of summarizing some key points, and also some more ideas for daily speaking exercises you can try.
Perfect. Extra resources to keep the momentum going. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
Our pleasure.
And remember, your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to keep improving, day by day, step by step. Now go out there and speak. Be understood. And feel good about the progress you're making.